Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bitch and Brainstorm podcast. I'm here with my friend Tina, and Tina is part of our Elevate Your Online Presence Business Summit. That is a mouthful. She is going to be on our Systems and Technology panel on April 19th from 11:15 a.m. Pacific time. And one of the things that I really love about our Systems and Tech panels is that they're all female.
Yes.
I love that. For some reason, I just love that we are slowly taking over the world. So Tina, before we get into the meat and the potatoes, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you, Elaine. So I am Tina Palmgren, the wizard of automation, because I help you streamline your back office systems and create your standard operating procedures. And really, it's all about making it fun and easy for you so you can go do what you love.
Girl, we're about to geek out because, systems and automations and all that stuff is totally my jam. But what I know about you is that your platform of choice is completely different than mine, which is why I love that the two of us can totally geek out about the same thing in completely different elements. Can you tell everybody what is your preferred tool? What is your favorite tool?
My favorite tool is Microsoft Excel. I know that scares so many people because you get so overwhelmed by all those boxes and cells and don't know what to do with them. But it's really, once you learn it, it's actually pretty easy. It's just very intimidating to many people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be.
So what are some of the things that you have been able to, creative ways that you've used Excel to help business owners with systems and automations and stuff like that?
Oh my gosh, how haven't I? So there's so many different things. It can be a big business, a little business. So some of it is super simple things that we do every day that we don't realize take so much of our time. And when we can automate them, that's the cool part. So I do a lot of programming behind the scenes in Excel. So, I was almost a programmer in a former life.
Yeah.
But I dropped that degree. I think I have 2 classes really to take that degree and actually get it. But I love being able to help somebody just push a button and it does all the work for them. And it takes processes that take 20 minutes down to less than a minute. And it's always done accurately. That's the cool part, because we've taken our human intervention and errors that we make
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah.
Because our data is only as good as the data we enter.
Exactly.
Right?
Or calculate, or yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so fun because I can make all the calculations happen, and you don't have to do a thing. It's just automated. And what's even better is then you can delegate it and not even have to do it at all, because it's going to be done right.
Yeah, I love that. I have actually really enjoyed, there are creators on TikTok that all they do is show you fun ways that you can use Excel. And like, I learned from a TikTok video how, like, if you had a worksheet or a spreadsheet that had, everybody's names together and you wanted to separate them into columns. And I was like, oh my God, because the old way, I would have made a new column and hand typed everybody's last name into it and then gone in and deleted the last name and the first name. Oh my God, I would have done that. And then learning that there was actually an easy way that you could do it. And I was like, get out. Like, seriously. Yeah.
That's so cool. So I love that you say that, because I'm actually finally embracing technology and doing Instagram. I don't think I'll ever get to TikTok. 3 platforms is enough for me, but I'm actually doing it in Reels and learning how to do that, and it's kind of fun. So I've done a few. I've done them before, and I've got a whole bunch on my website, but maybe I can repurpose those on my website and bring them in as well into Instagram. That's a great idea. And yeah, I've used Concatenate or Concat. They've made the shorter version now for probably at least 15, if not 20 years. Wow. And there are so many things that we don't realize that it does, that you don't think you can do in Excel, because and that's one of the challenges I love when somebody tells me, oh, you can't do that in Excel. I'm like, I'm
Like,
gonna
okay,
prove
tell
you
us
wrong.
tell us one, like one major one that people had no idea that you could do in Excel that you're like, yeah, you can. Cause that's my favorite thing to do ever too, is like tell people, yes, you can. They're like, what?
Well, it's all one of the biggest ones that I see all the time are agendas. Everybody does agendas in Word. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, why are you doing that? Because you're going to reuse it next time. And now I got to go to each line and get rid of whoever the speaker was, when I can set it up in Excel. And at the end of the day for the next meeting, I just highlight that column and delete it, and I can just go put in my new things and just change the date and whatever I need to change really quickly without having to individually do stuff. And the one thing I see so many people doing is making tables in Word, and I just want to cringe, because I'm like, oh, you actually just did Excel, but you can't do anything with it that Excel can do.
No
and I feel so bad, because it's like, oh, there's so much information you could get from that data, but you can't because you did it in Word.
That is so true. That is so true.
Mhm.
So what is like, let me think here. What is the one thing that you wish business owners knew before they opened up an Excel spreadsheet? Like, what do you wish that they knew how to do before they got started? Like prep or.
Well, yeah, it is all about prep. So
Okay.
what is the spreadsheet going to be used for?
Okay.
What do you need out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be using it? It kind of depends on how you want to lay things out. And are you hand entering data, or are you able to download data, or what's the whole purpose of it? So really thinking that through before you actually lay out the spreadsheet. And it can be very simple. Most spreadsheets are very simple. And if you think of it just like any other program, each row is a data set.
Mm-hmm.
Each column is a type of data.
Mm-hmm.
So in like old times back, and I still see people doing this, but like for expenses, people would put meals, lodging, and go across all the columns. You don't do that anymore because it takes way too much time to enter it. You just make one column and put an expense type, and then a pivot table will total it just like that.
Love that.
Yeah.
So talking about data. So what do we want to do with data? We want to analyze data. So what is like one of the ways that you like, why do we want to analyze data, and what do we want to pay attention to? Like creating that spreadsheet with intention of what data do you want to analyze?
Exactly. So anything you want to grow or track, you want to analyze. So expenses, income, I have one spreadsheet for everything from when I started. I actually did start using QuickBooks when I first got into business, because everybody said you got to have QuickBooks. And I used it for about 2 years and went, I hate QuickBooks. Why am I doing this? It's taking me so long. I'm the Excel expert. Why am I doing this in Excel? So when I started doing that, I can go back and I can analyze my expenses and my income from that time really quickly, because it's all in that spreadsheet, and it just takes a couple seconds to change how I'm looking at it. So I can look at from year to date, year to year. I can look at month to month, week to week, or type to type, like how much did I spend in meals this year compared to last year? And in 2020 screwed all the stats for everything, but you can still see trends in your business, and you want to be able to use those trends to make good decisions about your business. Maybe there's a certain thing that's really taking off, and you're ahead of the curve on if you compare it to what's going on everywhere else. You can really make a good killing on that if you jump out on that one. Or maybe something's kind of going down, and you realize it, and you can get out faster than most other people because you're looking at things. So it's just really paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah.
The spreadsheet I just created for myself, because I wasn't tracking it, is how many followers do I have on all my different networks? And I wasn't growing them because I wasn't tracking it. So now that I started tracking it, I'm really starting to see some uptakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really interesting because, how do we, our summit theme is elevating your online presence, right? And so I think it's important. One of the things I tell people is, instead of saying, I want to have 1 million followers, no. How about we do it percentage increase, right? So take what you have right now and say, my goal by the end of this month is to increase my follower by 10%. Or by the end of the year, I want to increase my follower count by 50%. With your Excel formulas, you can actually calculate what those goals would be and where you're currently at, where do you want to be, and then also track where are the sales and the stuff that you're getting, where are your referrals coming from, and being able to say, oh, this one came from Instagram, this one came from Facebook, this one came from LinkedIn, this one came from a referral, whatever, and being able to track all that stuff. So I think it's really super important that we are able to track and analyze the data for our business, because it can help us in the end with improving our presence online and how we show up in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing it by week right now because I want to pay attention each week what I'm doing. And it's forcing me to actually go out and and look at other people and find people out there that I can connect with. And so it's kind of fun. And that's exactly what it is. I put in my numbers, and down below it calculates what I should have for the next week.
Very nice.
By percentage wise.
There you go. I love that.
Exactly.
Well, I am super excited to have you as part of our summit. Thank you so much for coming to share a little sneak peek, a little taste test of what we can expect coming up next week. So thank you so much, Tina. I'm really looking forward to this.
You're welcome, Elaine. Thank you for putting on the summit. This is a wonderful way to get exposure for us as well. And greatly appreciate being there.
Super exciting. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.